Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Mike McCarthy officially has a habit of scoring a lot of points in his home building. The Dallas Cowboys are on fire. It seems like everything they do, whether it's on offense, defense, or special teams, turns to gold. In terms of recent seasons, there has been a transformation on the defensive side of the ball, shout out to Micah Parsons, Dan Quinn and others, that we have really enjoyed but has felt foreign in terms of how the Cowboys were built as a team before that transformation. Dallas teams for most of the century have had success on offense, but dominating on defense feels new and different. But the offense is still ultimately the side of the ball charged with scoring points, and given that the team who scores the most in a given game wins, it stands to reason that points matter. If you have not noticed, the Cowboys have made playing well at home a bit of a pattern for them. They have won 13 games in a row at AT&T Stadium, and they are seemingly scoring at will while benefiting from home cooking. We are all aware of the fact that Mike McCarthy was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers before arriving in Dallas and that he also served as their play caller for just about the entire time there as well. Most attributed the success that McCarthy had in Green Bay to Aaron Rodgers, so unless we are willing to say that Dak Prescott is as good as peak Rodgers, then we have to be willing to give McCarthy a lot of credit. What are we talking about credit for exactly, though? McCarthy winning a ton of home games in general is not exactly new for him. He is currently riding a 13-game streak at home as mentioned, which ties the most wins he ever had consecutively at Lambeau Field. Given that the only common denominator here is McCarthy, it stands to reason that he is a factor in it all. Obviously McCarthy served as the play caller for those Packers and these Cowboys, so the amount of points scored is significant, too. To date, the Dallas Cowboys have scored 205 points in their 5 home games. Technically, this is all points scored, so it includes defensive and special teams work, shout out Darren Bland and friends, but obviously the majority belongs to the offense. Since the beginning of time that StatHead's database stretches back to 1940, there have only been 8 teams in the NFL to score at least 205 points in their first 5 home games of the season. For what it's worth, the 2023 Cowboys have the fewest points allowed, 60, of the group as they just edged out the 1966 version of the club, 66, coincidentally. Having an all-world defense definitely does not hurt the overall cause. But McCarthy is the only head coach to appear here twice, and he is the play caller involved, so it stands to reason that he deserves his fair share of props for what is happening in an overall sense. There is nothing but objective fact to support that Mike McCarthy has a proven track record of taking care of business at home and doing so with authority. At the moment, there are a lot of people involved with the team who are receiving their due in terms of credit for contributions. Make sure to include McCarthy on your list the next time you make one. Cowboys Darren Bland sending items from historic pick 6 to Hoff, but there is one thing he's keeping. Dallas Cowboys cornerback Darren Bland will send some items to the Pro Football Hall of Fame to commemorate his remarkable record of 5 pick sixes in a single season. Bland broke the NFL record for interceptions returned for touchdowns in a season during Thursday's game against the Washington Commanders. The Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio will get the cleats and gloves Bland was wearing during the interception return. Bland says he is keeping the ball from the record-breaking pick. The former 5th-round pick out of Fresno State says the ball will be one of several keepsakes that will eventually go in his trophy case at home. For now, he is celebrating the moment. "Oh, it feels great, especially early on in my career, so it feels good," Bland told reporters. After Bland broke the record, returning Commanders QB Sam Howell's passed 63 yards for a score in the 4th quarter, Bland's teammates mobbed him in a celebration to remember. Bland jumped inside the Salvation Army kettle while his teammates surrounded him. "It feels so good having teammates like that, to have your back on a day like that feels good," Bland said. During his chat with reporters, Bland said he used to be an offensive player when he started playing football as a kid. He first played running back, then QB, and then wide receiver. Bland says whenever the ball is in the air, he goes back to that offensive mindset. High-profile Vikings free agent target set to visit Cowboys, report. The Minnesota Vikings' interest in free agent All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard could be squashed if the Dallas Cowboys have any say on the matter. Leonard, released by the Indianapolis Colts on November 21, is slated to visit the Cowboys this week, Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News reported on November 26. The Athletic's Diana Russini reported on Thursday, November 23, that the Vikings are among a trio of NFC playoff contenders that are considering signing the three-time All-Pro. Leonard spent the last few seasons in Indy after signing a 5-year, $98.25 million contract extension in 2021, but then injuries held him back. Now teams still in contention like the Eagles, Cowboys, Vikings, and others are collecting information on him, Russini wrote. While Leonard's visit date remains to be determined, the Cowboys appear to have the inside lane to signing the 28-year-old linebacker. Meanwhile, the Vikings are focused on their Monday night matchup with the Chicago Bears before entering their Week 13 bye. A league source said Leonard may take his time making a decision, Russini added, which could give the Vikings a prime opportunity to bring Leonard in during the bye week. The Vikings' interest in Leonard was sparked by veteran linebacker Jordan Hicks landing on the injured reserve list following a right leg injury in Week 11. Leonard is one of the most decorated linebackers in recent memory after winning Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2018. He earned 4 Pro Bowl and 3 All-Pro nods in his first 4 seasons. An instinctual pass rusher, Leonard tallied 15.0 sacks and 26 tackles for loss in his first 3 seasons before injuries and changes to the Colts defense led to his release. The Vikings brought back Anthony Barr the week Hicks landed on injured reserve. Barr played 12 defensive snaps with less than a week to prepare for a Week 13 matchup with the Denver Broncos. But if Barr can't prove to be more than a rotational piece in the defense, Leonard is the best bet to replace Hicks long-term. It's rare for a premier player to be released mid-season, especially Leonard, who was the second highest paid player at his position. The Athletic considered Leonard to be on a Hall of Fame trajectory before he underwent 2 back surgeries last season that limited him to just 3 games. Since his return, Leonard has seen a diminished role in the Colts defense. "It's just different this year," Leonard said earlier this month, per the Indy Star. "Either I'm hammering the ball back to Zaire or spilling it into the safety. I'm not as free as I once was in the defense before." The 28-year-old hasn't been given the same opportunities his former defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, once afforded him. According to Pro Football Focus, Leonard averaged 59.8 pass rushing snaps a season through the 2021 season. Under new defensive coordinator Gus Bradley, Leonard has rushed the passer just 9 times across 454 defensive snaps. Leonard's frustration with his usage and playing time surfaced throughout the season. According to The Athletic, Leonard was told he would be inactive going forward. But with no guarantees remaining in his contract, the team decided to waive him on November 23. He appeared at a charity event just hours after his release from the team. At a charity event Tuesday, Leonard talked to the media. The linebacker said he met with the coaching staff Monday and was told he would be inactive going forward. The team waived him earlier Tuesday, The Athletic's James Boyd reported. Leonard said he hasn't considered retirement and wants to continue playing. He didn't rule out the possibility of playing for another team this season. And you fan, what do you think of the Shaquille Leonard situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.